Happy Friday. I'm so excited to be here. I hope you guys are too. I'm just going to wait a few minutes before I get started, but let me know if you're here. Pop your names in the comments so I can see who's joining. And yeah, happy Friday. I hope you're all having a good Friday. How are you guys all doing today? Just going to wait a bit and see just for everyone to come in. And yeah, how are you doing? Hi, Amy. Amy's joining us. So nice to see you all here. I'm just trying to get my comments up. Hi, Coach Lauren. Hi, everyone. How's everyone feeling for this? I'm super excited, but also a bit nervous, must say. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well and having a good Friday. So I'm going to get started in a few minutes. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer just so that everyone can come in. But yeah, let me know how you're all doing. I can't believe how fast this week's gone. It's literally flown by. I can't believe that. There we go. I see comments coming in here. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you all. Hi, Mish. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Carol. Happy Friday. Okay, I'm going to get started soon, I think. Just give it 10 more seconds. Hi, Pat. We've got a few people checking in here. And yeah, pop some questions in the comments as I go along if you have any questions, and then I'll get to them at the end. So today I'm going to get started. I'm going to be talking about fiber, which is actually one of my favorite topics. So I'm super excited to be talking about it. I'm not going to make it too long. It's going to be quite a short talk just so that we can get to the point so I don't bore you with anything. And I know it's Friday, so we'll keep it short and sweet. So yeah, like I said, fiber is one of my favorite topics, and we're going to get into it why, and I'm going to explain what it is and why it's so important. So we've all heard about the word fiber before. It's often a word that is, thrown around and spoken about, but do you guys actually know what it means? I know I definitely didn't know what it was and how it works in the body before I studied nutrition. So I'm going to just talk a bit about how it works and what it does in our body. So fiber is the indigestible parts of plant foods, which means that when we eat fiber, it remains undigested as it passes through our body. So when we eat plants, and most plants do have quite a bit of fiber in it, the fiber goes through our mouth, into our stomach, into our intestine, and then into our colon, completely undigested and untouched, which is really cool. It's the only thing that doesn't really get digested as we eat it. So there are two main types of fiber. We get our soluble fiber and then our insoluble fiber. And I'm just going to explain a bit about each one and how they work in our body. So I'm going to first talk about our soluble fiber. And I've got a little prop here, which is a little sponge, if you guys can all see. So when we eat foods that are high in soluble fiber, it acts like a sponge. So just like a sponge would, if you put it in water, it would absorb all that water. That's exactly how soluble fiber works. So when we eat foods that are high in soluble fiber, it soaks up all the water in our intestine, and this allows our stool to become softer and easier for it to pass. And this is why it's so important, and it helps so much with constipation. So soluble fiber, just like a sponge, think like that. And it becomes gelish and soft and, adds softness to our stool, and that makes it easier to pass. And then we have our insoluble fiber, which is our second main type of fiber. And insoluble fiber acts like a broom. So just like a broom sweeps everything along, that's how insoluble fiber works. So often when we talk about fiber, people think of the word roughage. That's the insoluble fiber. So we eat it, and yeah, it sweeps everything along, which helps add, bulk to our stool, and this makes it heavier and easier to pass. And that's why it also helps with constipation. So I hope that you guys understand a bit better how fiber works in our body. I think it's always interesting to know what it does and how it works in our body. So now that you know what fiber is, I'm going to kind of explain to you why it's so important for us to include it in our everyday diet. So Amy's going to pop up a little slide for us. There we go. Can everyone see that? Thank you, Amy. So fiber has so many benefits for us. A few of them, I'm just going to speak about a few of them. And a few of them include having a high fiber diet can help lower your risk for developing heart diseases, diabetes, and colorectal cancer. It also helps lower your high cholesterol and high blood pressure. So if you're someone that has high blood pressure or high cholesterol, it's super important to include it in our diet. So I'm just looking at the comments here, and I see that someone missed the explanation. So I quickly go back. I'll quickly explain it quickly so that you all get it. So we have soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber is like a sponge. It absorbs water, makes our stool softer so that it's easier to pass, and it adds bulk. And then our insoluble is like a broom, and it's like roughage, and it sweeps everything along, makes our stool heavier, and also allows it to pass and helps with constipation. Hope that you can hear that now, Sharon. Sorry, I saw that you missed that. So yeah, getting back to the benefits. So like I was saying, it helps lower your high cholesterol and high blood pressure. So it can help. So if you are someone that has high blood pressure or high cholesterol, it's super important to include fiber in your diet. It also helps prevent and helps with constipation. So if you're someone that has constipation, it's always so important to have fiber because it will help with that and also to help prevent it. It also helps regulate our blood sugar levels. So I'm going to explain a bit how it does that. So when we eat meals that are high in fiber, it's harder for our body to break down fiber. And it's, like I said, it's broken down a lot more slower. So when you eat a meal that is high in fiber, it will break down. And if you think of like a graph, your blood sugar will increase a bit more slowly, and then your body will recognize it, and then it will compensate and bring it back down to those normal levels. So it kind of keeps it in a range without causing spikes. But when you have a meal that isn't high in fiber, the blood sugar increases a lot because your body breaks it down a lot easier. So you have this rise, and then your body compensates and brings it back down. So you have these dips and spikes, which affects your mood and your energy. So that's why it's always so important to have fiber in each meal, so that it can help regulate your blood sugar levels throughout the day. It also helps keep you fuller for longer. So like I said, it's harder for our body to break down fiber, and it takes longer for our body to break down fiber. This is why it keeps us fuller for longer. And then lastly, and my personal favorite benefit of eating fiber, is that it feeds our gut bacteria. So in our gut, we have hundreds and thousands of bacteria, and they live off and eat our fiber. So I'm just going to give you a bit of background because I love this topic so much, is all these bacteria in our gut is known as our gut microbiome. So basically what they do is, like I said, they eat off our fiber, and they have many, many benefits. So just to give you a few of their benefits is that 70% of our immune system lives in our gut microbiome. So it's so important to make sure that we have a good gut microbiome and good gut bacteria so that our immune system can be strong. It also, 90% of our serotonin is made in our gut, is made by our gut bacteria. So a lot of people think that serotonin, which is our happy hormone, is made in the brain, and it's not. It's made by these gut bacteria in our gut. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you're feeding them lots of good fiber so they can be happy. Because I always say, happy gut, happy life. So so like I said, they've got so many benefits, and that's why it's so important to have fiber. And these are just a few of the benefits. There's so many more of having fiber in our diet. So the daily recommendation is to eat between 25 and 30 grams of fiber every day. And most of us aren't meeting these requirements in our days. So we really need to make a conscious effort of eating more fiber because it has so many benefits for us, like you guys have seen. So, how do we reach? It's easy for me to say that, we must reach this 25 to 30 grams. So what does that actually mean, and how do we do that? So I'm just going to talk about a few tips and tricks of how you guys can increase your fiber so that you can get these benefits that I've been talking about. Perfect. So Ainsley, just go to the next slide, please. There we go. So I'm just going to talk through a bit of these tips and tricks. So the first one is to always choose your whole grain options. So switching things like your white rice, your white bread, and your white pasta for brown rice, brown bread, and brown pasta, because these are a lot more high in fiber, so it's so important to include them. Adding things like barley and quinoa to your soups and salads, as barley and quinoa are both a really good source of fiber. And then swapping things like, instead of eating chips, swap it for popcorn. Popcorn's still a really delicious snack, and as delicious as chips. So swapping your chips for popcorn, and then making sure when you're having your starch portions that you are choosing your whole grain options, like I spoke about, because they are much higher in fiber. Then a really nice way to get in lots of fiber in the day is to have a high fiber breakfast. Breakfast is a great way that you can get in, and an easy way to get in lots of fiber. So switching those sugary cereals like Cheerios and even some granolas are super high in sugar for oats and wheat bix, because they are a good source of fiber. And then adding seeds and chia seeds and flax seeds to your breakfast. So just sprinkle a little over your breakfast in the morning, adds that extra bit of fiber as well. And then adding a fruit to your breakfast and keeping the skin on your fruit to add extra fiber to your breakfast. And then, like I was saying, keeping skin on your fruits and vegetables. So, a lot of people peel the potatoes and sweet potatoes, they peel the skin off. Keep the skin on. It adds that extra bit of fiber there. And my personal favorite is to eat kiwi fruits with the skin on. I used to always do it in school and in class, and people thought I was crazy, but it's a really nice way to get in that extra fiber. So leave the skin on your fruits and vegetables. It adds so much more fiber, which is really, really great. And then the World Health Organization recommends that we eat 5 portions of fruits and vegetables every day. So it's about 2 fruit portions and then 3 veg portions every day. And if you're doing that, it helps to make sure that you're getting in enough, adding more fiber, because fruits and vegetables are always a great source of fiber. So adding things like vegetables to your soups and curries and stews, it's also a nice way to sneak it in, especially for kids, that they don't notice it. So yeah, making sure that you're always adding fruit and veg to your meals. And then adding beans and legumes to your dishes. So beans and legumes are also a great source of plant protein, which is really, really good for us. And they're super high in fiber. So adding lentils to, if you're making like spaghetti mince, instead of adding just mince, make half mince, half lentils. I know a lot of people are a bit skeptical about this, but I promise you it's really, really delicious and you won't even notice. And then adding things like legumes, especially your chickpeas, your black beans, your kidney beans, and your lentils to salads and soups. Another nice way to add legumes to your dishes or to a snack is to roast chickpeas with some paprika and snack on it. It's a good fiber snack and it's a good protein snack. Mashing butter beans and chickpeas and adding some lemon and salt and pepper to it and using it as a dip with crackers or veggie sticks is a nice way to also make sure that you are getting in fiber. And then another good thing is your nuts and seeds, like I spoke about. So if you're having things like yogurt and fruit, add a little bit of seeds to that. It's a nice way to make sure you're getting a bit more fiber than just having your yogurt and fruit. And then snacking on nuts, so maybe adding some nuts to your snack and then maybe adding seeds to your salads, because they will add that little bit extra bit of fiber. And then lastly, a nice trick or tip to use is when you're in the shops and you're buying breads or crackers or your whole grain options, look at the nutritional label. So turn it over, and if you look at the back, you can see it'll say fiber at the bottom, and it'll say per 100 grams and then per serving. So per 100 grams, look and make sure that it's more than 6 grams of fiber per 100 grams of product, or more than 3 grams of fiber per serving. And then it's usually quite a high fiber item, which is good. And then, just a thing to remember is always make sure that you are drinking enough water when you're eating fiber. I'm sure maybe some of you have experienced or heard when you're eating fiber and you're not drinking enough water, you might be bloated or you might feel a bit uncomfortable, because remember, the insoluble fiber, it needs water, so it absorbs water. So if it doesn't have water to absorb, it won't absorb that water and become soft and help your stool move along. So important to always make sure that you're drinking enough water when you're eating fiber. And then also, if you're someone that doesn't eat lots of fiber, make sure that you increase it slowly. So don't go from having no fiber to having high fiber meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I promise you, you're not going to be happy, and neither is your stomach. So increase it slowly. So for example, if you're having, let's say, soup for lunch today or something, add a tablespoon of beans, and then, tomorrow, the next day, add 2 tablespoons. So increase it slowly. Don't increase it all of a sudden. I promise you, you're not going to be happy, or your stomach, you're going to feel it, and you're going to be very uncomfortable. So just make sure that you increase it gradually. That's basically just a few tricks and tips to help you increase your fiber intake. And I see in the comments, some people say that they, suffer from constipation, and it's a very common thing because, meeting that 25 to 30 grams of fiber is really hard. You have to eat quite a lot of fiber foods that are high in fiber to get to that. So, and that's why we have to make a conscious effort to make sure that we are eating fiber in our meals, adding more high fiber foods, so that we can reach that daily requirement and get all the benefits that it has. And then I'm just going to go on to the last slide, which is just a list of high fiber foods. So I've just put together a little list here just so that you can see foods that are a little bit high in fiber and you might want to add to your diet. So all fruits and vegetables are a great source of fiber. But just remember to always leave the skin on. So if you're having things like sweet potato, leave the skin on. Then add squash, onions, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, peas, Brussels sprouts, leeks. And like I said, most veg are a great source of fiber. And then fruit as well. Don't leave the skin on your banana, please. Someone once asked me that, and I said, definitely don't do that. I don't think it'll be very nice. But yeah, don't take the skin off your pears or your apples. Leave the skin on your kiwis. And then prunes and berries and avos and dates are a great source as well. I just see in the comments that it's not clear. Can everyone hear me? Is it fine? I hope it's fine. And then, yeah, like I said, whole grains are also a really good source of fiber. So, make sure that you are having barley, oats, quinoa, popcorn, brown rice are high fiber foods. Nuts and seeds are always good. So especially your chia seeds, your flax seeds, and your nuts. And then your legumes are a great source as well. So chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, split peas, and black beans are always a really, really good source. So add them to, sneak them in those stews, sneak them in your soups, add them to salads, mash the beans up, put it on, your crackers. Really, really great way to get in that extra fiber, to get all the benefits. Because like I said, it's got so many benefits. And those were just only a few that I spoke about. So has so much. So yeah, add more of these foods into your daily diet so that you can increase your fiber intake. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. That's kind of just my fiber talk today. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm going to just read through the comments a bit and see if there's any questions. Oh, the spun analogy Sharon asked me to explain. So we have two types of fiber. So I'm just going to quickly go through what fiber is again. So fiber is the indigestible part of plants. So when we eat plant foods that usually all contain fiber, the fiber in it doesn't get digested by our body. So we eat it, goes into our stomach, into our intestine, through to our colon, and it remains completely undigested as our body can't digest it. So we have two main types, our soluble and our insoluble. Soluble fiber is like a sponge. So just like if you put a sponge in water, it absorbs all that water. And then it forms like this soft gel, which adds bulk to our stool and also makes it soft, so then it's easier to pass. Then we have our insoluble fiber, which is like a broom. So just like a broom kind of sweeps everything along, that's what our insoluble fiber does. It just sweeps everything along, adds bulk, makes our stool heavier, and makes it also easier to pass. And that's why it's so important to have fiber with constipation, both soluble and insoluble fiber, so that it can help move everything along and help with that constipation. So I hope you got that now, Sharon. Can you hear me? That's all good. Then Michelle says it's so important to keep the little dudes happy. Yes, all those bacteria in our guts, so important. They have so many benefits, and I think I should do a Jeff Ed just on the gut microbiome because, yeah, like I said, it's one of my favorite fields of study, and I'm always reading up about it. And yeah, it's hasn't researched that much yet. So there's so much research coming out on it, and it's so interesting. Just the fact that 90% of our serotonin, which is our happy hormone, is made in our gut, which is so cool. So you feed your gut well, and you're getting serotonin, which is, makes us happy, always good. Lauren says maybe an Instagram reel or Facebook post on the sponge analogy is a great idea. I think so. I think I should definitely do that. Sharon says she has oats most days and chickpeas and not the other beans for some reason, So yeah, so remember beans, like I said, important to make sure you're having lots of water. Otherwise it may feel uncomfortable, it might hurt your stomach. You need to build your fiber up slowly. You can't go from having no fiber to having 30 grams a day. You will feel uncomfortable. So build it up slowly. Like I said, start with a little bit, start with a tablespoon, and each day add a little bit more. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll go through the comments and everything a bit more. If there's if I missed anything, but I think I got all of that. Yeah, Laurie says that she can't eat popcorn. Yeah, obviously that's, if I'll message you about that. But yeah, otherwise, everyone, please include more high fiber foods. It's so important. Like I said, most of us aren't reaching our daily requirements, and it has so many benefits for us. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you guys have a lovely weekend. I will also message you guys, and message me if you have any questions. I would love to help, or if you have any problems, if you're struggling with constipation or something, we can always chat and I can try to help you out. But yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great Friday, and let me know if you enjoyed that, if you learned something, if you didn't learn anything. Would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, happy Friday. Bye, everyone.